Welcome back to the next session of the chapter Motion in a Plane. Friends, now today we are going to study one more very important topic called as resolution of vectors. To understand the concept of resolution of vectors, let us understand the meaning of resolution. The dictionary meaning of resolution is separate. That means a vector will be given and we are separating that vector into the respective vectors. A vector can be resolved, a vector can be separated n number of times. That means a vector can have n number of components or resolute vectors we can have. So now let us study, go to the next topic. That means already we have understood two important concepts called as triangle of vector addition and parallelogram of vector addition. Now to understand the meaning of a triangle of vector addition, so now if two vectors are given, if we have a resultant vector, say vector r, so now we can have two vectors, vector A and vector B, then vector R will yield the triangle of vector addition. Here also the triangle components are there, vector A and vector B are triangle components, but that topic is not there in your syllabi. So I am skipping that concept, but we are going to the next concept called as a rectangular components. To understand the meaning of rectangular components, first and foremost we need to consider a plane first, because it is a chapter motion in a plane. First we need to consider a plane. In that plane we are going to consider a vector. After that we are separating the vector into a respective components. How exactly this will go? Let us start step by step. Now friends, see here. What I am going to do, I am going to consider two vectors or a plane. So it is called as x-axis, this is called as y-axis. After taking y-axis, this is having the origin O. Now let me consider a vector lying in the plane. So now here I have taken vector A. Vector A is the O. Yes. So OS is the vector lying in the xy plane, passing through the origin O, making an angle theta. It is making an angle theta with respect to x-axis. Please note down, the angle theta is with respect to x-axis and the direction of the vector, not with respect to vector y. After this, now what I have to do? Consider vector A lying in the xy plane, making an angle theta with respect to the direction of x-axis. After drawing this, let me draw two perpendicular lines to the x-axis as well as y-axis from the tip of the vector A. So now I am drawing two perpendicular lines. So it reaches at R. Let's draw perpendicular line to this one. It is reaching at this point. So now I will name these 2 points. This is called as a P, this is called as Q. OP is the resolved vector of vector A. OQ is the resolved vector of vector A along y-axis. Now let me name, because vector A is resolved along x-axis as vector AX. Similarly, the vector A is resolved separated along y-axis, that is called as a vector AY. Please note out, these are subscript. X is subscript, Y is also subscript. Now after drawing this thing, now two things are there, two things are explained in the textbook, two different methods are there how to arrive at the value of vector A, only with respect to the magnitude of the vector A with respect to their components. I repeat once again, AX and AY are called as components. I repeat, they are called as components of vector A. Now friends, one method is already there in our textbook that I will be sending in the form of notes, and I am explaining another method how to calculate the value of AX and AY. Only I am explaining the magnitude of AX and AY with respect to A and theta. If the value of theta are given, it is possible to calculate the value of AX and AY. How? Let us start one by one. What I am doing is, I am taking this OP is equal to AX, magnitude of A along x-axis. Similarly, OQ is equal to AY, magnitude of A along y-axis. Now friends, already we know the basic knowledge of geometry. If OQ is AY, obviously the opposite side of a rectangle is also equal SP, so this also becomes AY. Now if I take a triangle OPS, consider a right angle triangle OPS. From the triangle OPS, I am going to define certain things. Let us define sine theta. So if I define sine theta is nothing but opposite divided by hypotenuse, that is SP divided by OS. That is equal to, what is the value of SP? SP value is what? AY. So this is AY divided by the value of his A. Then if I rearrange, what I will get, take this A this side, this becomes AY is equal to A sine theta. Similarly, if I define cos theta in the same triangle OPS, in triangle OPS, that is cos theta is equal to, cos theta means what? Adjacent side divided by hypotenuse, that is OP divided by OS. OP means what? AX divided by A. Just rearrange, we will get AX is equal to A cos theta. Now friends, let us introduce one more important concept. Already we know that AY is equal to A sin theta, AX equal to A cos theta. Then if it is possible, then as I said, if the value of vector A, if the value of A and theta are given, it is possible to calculate the value of AX and AY. Now let's take it in a different way. Suppose if I square these two values, that is, now I am moving to the next operation, that is AX square plus AY square. Suppose if I perform this experiment or if operation, what happens to the vector? Let us start. AX square plus AY square is equal to, what is the value of AX square? A cos square, A cos theta square plus AY. What is AY here? A sin theta. So it is A sin theta square. After this, AX square as it is, AX square as it is, AY square as it is, that is, this becomes A square cos square theta plus A square sin square theta. After this, AX square as it is, AY square as it is. Take A square common outside. So inside the bracket we are left with cos square theta plus sin square theta. Already we know that the value of sin square theta plus cos square theta is equal to 1. So A square equal to 1. So finally we are arriving at the answer. A square is equal to AX square plus AY square. Take square root on both sides. I will get A is equal to square root of AX square plus AY square. One more very important relation. As I said friends, if the value of theta and A are given, it is possible to calculate the value of AX and AY. Just is over. Then we calculate the value of AX square and AY. How to calculate the angle? So at what angle the vector is moving? Very simple, it is simply a tan theta. So now the angle of the vector or angle or direction of the vector is given by tan theta. So just you define tan theta in the equation. Tan theta means what? Always opposite by adjacent. It is SP by OP, that is equal to AY by AX. So tan theta is equal to AY by AX. Theta is equal to tan inverse of AY by AX over one more important relation. Theta is equal to tan inverse of AY by AX. It is also possible to calculate the direction of the vector, at what angle the vector is lying in the XY plane. Friends, along with this, it is also possible, instead of one vector, or if instead of a two-dimensional, if we have a three-dimensional objects, or if we instead of having XY plane, if we have X, Y, Z, how exactly it looks like. Let me show this one. As I said in the previous class, so let us look at this. X axis is there, Y axis is there, Z axis is there. Suppose if I take a vector lying in this direction like this. Let me show this properly. So now suppose if this is lying like this, if three are mutually perpendicular axes are there, three are mutually perpendicular this axis, draw perpendicular and draw perpendicular line to all the axes. Now at that time, how components will be look like? Now let us pay the attention, very very important concept that is also. If a vector A lies in X, Y, Z, or X, Y, Z dimensions, X, Y, Z dimensions. Now actually friends, in some book they used same AX, AY, AZ. In some book they used to differentiate the angles, they are used alpha, beta, gamma. In some book they used I, J, K. In some book they used what they used here in our textbook, they used alpha, beta, gamma only they used. Let me use that one only. If it is like this, then how to define this one? So now AX becomes cos alpha, AY become cos beta, then AZ becomes cos gamma. After at the same time, then if I resolve this component, vector A is equal to AX plus AY plus AZ. Then this one thing, and afterwards look at this here. Here I wrote AX, AY only, AZ, only the vector quantity, magnitude quantities I have written here. If I go along X axis, it's very very important. If I go along axis, I cap is the unit vector. If I go along Z axis, sorry, Y axis, J cap is the unit vector. If I go along Z axis, K cap is the unit vector. So now vector A is given by, as I wrote here, A is equal to square root of like this. So you can write here A is equal to AXI plus AYZ plus AZ, K cap, J cap, I cap, where I cap, J cap, K cap are the unit vectors along X axis, Y axis and Z axis respectively. One thing, and after thing, so this is a vector quantity. Then if I calculate the magnitude of this vector, so A is equal to same thing here, what I wrote here, AX square plus AY square plus AZ square. So this is one more important dimension. Actually, it is three-dimensional object, not there in the syllabi. Only for understanding purpose, I am explaining this concept. So now, how to write a vector A? So vector A, how I wrote it there? Simply it is AX plus AY according to the resolution of vector or the resultant vector concept. But here it is I am writing AX I cap, AY J cap, AZ K cap. Now I segregated the vector AX. I will write here. You will understand in a better way. So vector AX is nothing but AX is one concept. Along this, I am separating this magnitude with a vector I cap. Similarly, AY vector can be written as AY into J cap. Similarly, AZ is equal to AZ into K cap. So these are the I cap, J cap, K cap are the unit vectors along X axis, Y axis, Z axis. This is very very important and they are permanent. If it is I vector is there or vector I cap is there along x axis, vector j cap is there is along y axis, and if it is k cap is there, it is along z axis. It is always permanent, my friends. Please keep it in the mind. It's very, very important as the resolution of vector is concerned. Now, along with this, we are going to study one more important topic, and very much related to this topic only. That is called as a vector addition by analytical method. Very simple concept it is. Very, very simple concept. How we are going to write these two vectors or these vectors accordingly. Now let us pay the attention. What is the heading here? Vector addition analytical method. Vector addition. Vector addition. Which method we are using here? We are using analytical method. Analytical method. Now friends, consider two vectors instead of a. Let me consider two vectors here. First foremost, I have to consider plane x axis, y axis, origin. One plane like this, one axis, another plane like this. Let me draw a little bit like this, much better. This is the another vector. Now one vector is called as A, another vector is called as B. Suppose if I draw perpendicular lines to these vectors. Now if I draw a perpendicular line from vector B, this becomes what? Vector Bx. Similarly, if I draw a perpendicular line, this becomes vector Ax. Similarly, if I draw a perpendicular line along x axis, y axis, then this becomes AY. Then if I draw a perpendicular line to this one, this becomes BY. BY. So if two vectors are lying in a plane, how will you write this thing one by one? Now what I am going to start, I am going to, again my duty is same, vector A, then vector B. If I consider vector A is lying in a plane, in the xy plane, then vector A can be resolved. Alright, I will write a sentence. If a vector A lies in xy plane, then vector A is given by Ax plus Ay. Here I wrote a vector A. Here I wrote Ax, Ay. Ax indicates along x axis, Ay indicates along y axis. What about the vector? These are the magnitudes. So then I cap and the j cap are the unit vectors along x axis and y axis. Right. Similarly, if a vector B lies in xy plane, then vector B can be written as Bx plus By. Here only magnitudes are there. What about unit vectors? I cap and big J cap, because both vector A and B both are lying in the same xy plane itself. Then I am interested to calculate the resultant vector. Then how to calculate the resultant vector? The resultant vector R is given by vector A plus vector B. This one I have to calculate. So in order to overcome from this difficulty, then what I have to do is, I have to do here vector A plus vector B, I have to substitute here. What is vector A? Vector can be written as Ax I cap plus Ay j cap, one bracket, plus what is B cap here? So what is B? Bx I cap plus By j cap is another bracket. Then what I will do, I will separate I cap term one side, j cap one term. So that is vector R. So vector R is equal to, look at this, Ax plus Bx plus I cap, one set. Second set is given by Ay plus By into j cap. R is equal to vector R is equal. What is Ax Bx? You think about resultant vector of x components, that is a and b, that is rx I cap. What is ay by? The component along y axis, this is given by ry j cap. One more very important result, r is equal to rxi plus ry j cap. Similarly, instead of this, if we have 3 dimensions, now there is one more expansion simply, that is given by for 3 dimensions. Let me write for 3 dimensions. For 3 dimensions, vector r is given by rxi cap, ry j cap plus rz k cap. This is another one for 3-dimensional objects. So now friends, with these fundamentals, it is possible to express, once it is possible to locate a vector in a plane, it is also possible to locate the same vector in 3-dimensional objects also. That means in the space. Now with this, friends, once again I am telling you, only one time watching, one time listening is not sufficient to understand the resolution of vectors, because if one vector is lying in one plane, that can be divided into any number of vectors, as I said in the previous explanation itself. So that is why do watch the videos again and again and try to understand the concepts. With this, I am completing the chapter, the topic called as resolution of vectors. In the next class, we are stepping into the real topic, the real chapter, that is called as motion. These are all fundamentals. Now we are stepping into the real topic called as position, how to position a particle in a plane, how to give the displacement in a particle, how to calculate the velocity of a particle in a space or in a plane, and how to calculate the acceleration of a particle in a plane. That we are going to study in the next video. Thank you.